One of the biggest problems we see are people coming in requesting hormone tests. Unless you have a very specific clinical indication, they're completely meaningless.
And why are people recommending them?
Oh, because they hear about it online.
Yeah, what are those people online saying?
Well, I think you need to be in tune with your body, right? You need to know, you need in tune. They use words that we would not recognize as medical, that we would recognize as quasi-medical. Many times these people are also selling supplements to optimize your menstrual cycle, right?
All right, I'm going to try not to rant really, really hard here, but there's a couple of different things that I think need to be considered here. So first and foremost, she does go on to say that there are other things that might be more important than simply looking at hormones. Things, she specifically brought up nutrient deficiencies, and I would 100% agree with that. The bigger issue with that consideration is that we are not getting complete blood panels from any one doctor in today's day and age. None, right? We're getting maybe a CBC, we're getting maybe a metabolic panel. Right? Outside of that, you have to go to specific doctors to get specific blood work, and they don't really cross over that well. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but sometimes you go to your OBGYN and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll run your hormones, but I don't know what to do with that. I can't read that lab work. I can't help you with that lab work. You got to go to an endocrinologist. That's a problem. That's a problem. And then on top of that, right, and moving on here, is the reality that while we are looking at this through the lens of particular age brackets and different considerations around hormones, the bottom line is that I've worked with women. I'm not one of those people that's going to sit here and be like, I've worked with 10,000 women, but I've worked with hundreds of women at the very least between the ages of 25 to 55. And the large majority of those women have probably been between 35 and 55. And within those women, there's a large percentage of women that have never had their hormones tested, ever. Not once in their entire life. That is a problem because those same women were put on birth control 10 years ago and nobody's cared to check their hormones. I know you can't look at hormones once birth control is on. Okay, but if they do get their hormones checked, now it's done in this really particular way, this one particular time where they're just 3 days after menstruation or some, and now we're trying to figure out, if all three of these major sex hormones are really where they're supposed to be based off of this one particular time within your cycle, right? Where certain hormones might not be as strong as they will get, right? And we're not doing other testing down the road to be able to fully figure out what is the hormonal landscape here, right? What we have to be very considerate of here is the reality that no one thing really works in isolation. We're looking at lab work. So when I have a client that is coming to me saying, well, this doctor says this doctor says this doctor says this, and then it's comes down to us to be able to get all the lab work done that we need at one time to start to put the pieces together.